Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of Connect with AIR. In this episode, today we have CA Final All India Rank 44, CA Isman, sorry. Isman, welcome on this episode of Connect with AIR. And can you please introduce
Got it.
yourself to the audience first?
Yeah. So hi everyone. This is Maran. Myself, I stay at Hyderabad. I have recently cleared my CA examinations in the November 23 attempt and secured an All India 44th rank. Yeah, it's been a dream since my ninth class to clear my CA exams. So here it is. Finally, I have cleared it with a rank.
Yeah, then with a rank is something amazing. Matlab, one is difficult thing is just to clear the exam, but with a rank, a dream come true is the every CA student dream of rank.
Totally a totally different
So
thing. Yeah.
yeah, I agree to this point. And so first and foremost, one of the important question is how was your result day reaction? Because this is one of the most important moment in rankers life specifically, and even though for others also, those who clear the C exam. So how was your experience on the result day?
It was a day full of terror for me at the beginning. I was like very scared to see the result.
Hmm.
Somehow I managed to see it, and the moment I got to know like it's a pass, I screamed so loud. I screamed so loud. There was a friend almost 7 houses past my house. He
Hmm.
listened to my roar and he came running, realizing that I passed it. So and
Okay.
the best part is I even forgot to check for a rank. So
Oh,
it took me some 10-15 minutes later. Then I realized, oh, like my marks are worthy to get a rank, and then I checked for it. So like it
oh,
was a total moment of surprise for me.
initially you were totally lost after
There's
seeing the
actually
pass itself.
yeah, exactly. There's actually this page called CA Club here. So they have actually posted my reaction video, and it's
Okay.
around some 1.5 million views, I guess.
Oh, nice.
In Yeah,
So मतलब I think this moment you will never forget in your life because ये special moment होता है मतलब क्या results comes every 6 months but हमारा जो result होता है and I still remember जब मेरा result आता है मतलब last time जो अभी result आया 9th को so I can relate my result with the मतलब जिस students का भी result आया है so yeah of course this is a lifetime moment for us so yeah next and the important thing is that I saw your marks there. You scored well in all the theory subject specifically. Practical subject is also good, but compared to
yeah,
practical, I
yeah.
saw one thing is that you scored very well in all the four subject of like audit, law, DT, IDT. So, can you give a brief how you prepared for these subject and what was your strategy for scoring these exemption in all theory subject? Specifically, I'll cover first audit. So, because audit is a fear for every CA student. So, first, let's start with this audit itself.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So how was your strategy for this?
Exactly. So the thing with audit is that the subject is very huge to cover. So
Hmm.
I actually taken this notes from Shubham Kesani sir. So
Okay.
the thing is, I rarely had time to do classes. So for most of the subjects, I resorted to self study itself. So I just
Okay.
grabbed this book, and my strategy was just simple one thing: 10 pages per day, 2.5 days per day. That's it.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
every 6 days, I used to
Hmm.
cover 60 pages, and on the seventh day, I used to revise it. So it took me just 2.5 hours every day, and
Hmm.
it was a schedule of 50 days wherein I completed my whole audit book. So the
Okay.
main part in audit is we should learn to drop the content. Usually, usually what people end up doing is they actually try to cover maximum things possible with a fear
Hmm.
that अरे ये नया है तो कैसा वो नया है तो कैसा what
Yeah.
if the
Yeah.
thing which I have left out comes in the exam. So
Yes.
with that fear people end up reading so much stuff like it's very hard for them to do some revision thing. So what
Agree.
I did was my book was around 420 pages,
Hmm.
and I cut it short to 380 pages. Like
Okay.
I just used to analyze the content, maybe
Hmm.
seeing what has come in the past exam and all, and then
Okay.
later based on that thing I used to drop pages one by one. So like this I did, and it took me almost 5 revisions before my exam
Okay. So you
to do
took
audit very properly.
five revisions you
So
did.
that's a very
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice
Exactly. Yeah.
strategy, I would say, because in audit now, what people used to do, they just try to cover, as you mentioned, all the things rather than focusing on important areas where you can actually score good marks. So, like for example, one area is that professional ethics.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
always there in your exam. So focus on, and I think it will give you around 15 to 20 marks of weightage in exam.
Hmm.
So, and it's easy to cover also because clauses are less and you can easily learn those clauses. So, yeah, is there any written practice you did for audit also?
Exactly. So actually, for all the 8 subjects, I have taken this test series from CA test series.
Okay.
So my scheme of test was that each subject they used to divide it into 5 parts,
Hmm.
and each part का एक test रहता था.
Yeah.
So like that. So this 5 part test I used to write in my second revision, and
Okay.
I wrote one full syllabus test in my third revision. So this thing I have done for all the subjects together.
So, मतलब now I think इतना explain किया है आपने. Student might have questions कि आपने language कैसा लिखा था? मतलब you have write the answer in your own language or a standard ICI language. What you have did in this audit paper?
So yeah, so the thing with audit is that people have a myth in their mind कि जो ICM में है वही exact मुझे मारने का है exactly.
Right.
That's not the thing actually.
Hmm.
The most important part is there are few keywords, like for each and every content there are few keywords.
Hmm.
In Shubham Keswani sir ka book mein, it's clearly highlighted all the keywords, what are they, etc.
Okay.
So people usually forget focusing on the keywords and they focus more on mugging up the content, and इसके वजह से many people just lose the track. So I just focused on the keywords, and मैं
Hmm.
वो keywords लेके I used to build up my sentence. And since I have already done around some 5 revisions, it
Hmm.
was a it was like a comparatively easy task for me to write the theory part. And
Okay.
by the way, handwriting doesn't matter much in ICS
Yeah, yeah,
paper.
of course.
My
Yeah, yeah.
handwriting is not that good, but still I managed to score it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
people shouldn't get scared for that.
Okay, so now I'll summarize this audit ka strategy. Basically, you have try to study 10 page or 15 page. You can do it according to your pace. So he used to do 10 pages per day so that he can cover whole book. You can follow this study. I think it's a good study to go on by pages. Secondly, he did multiple revisions. Thirdly, importance is that you need not to write exactly what mentioned in the ICI study material. You can write it on your own language, but the essence of the answer should remain same. So this is the key strategy for audit.
Yes.
I think you followed the same strategy for law also, or some different strategy you
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
for law.
It's somewhat kind of similar, but the thing
Hmm.
is, audit mein there is nothing like key points and all.
Hmm.
It's just that I just used to remember the content. I used
Hmm.
to watch Shubham Singhal sir ke revision videos.
For
I
law.
literally watched every video four times. Yeah, for law. So
Okay.
like during my lunch time, during my dinner time, I
Hmm.
just used to keep his video and I used to listen law. So by listening to the sections and the provisions so many times, at
Hmm.
the end the thing ends up in your brain somehow. And the most
Hmm.
scoring part for law is the amendments. हमारे attempt में
Yes.
बहुत कुछ पूछा गया था amendments से.
Okay.
Even a very minute detail was covered in our attempt. So amendments are very crucial.
Okay. And what was your strategy for the other remaining two subjects, DT and IDT?
Yeah, coming to DT and IDT, it was something kind of similar. So
Hmm.
I did this one particular trick which helped me a lot. So what I used to do is for DT I took Banwar sir ke classes, and for IDT I took Vishal Bhatt sir.
Same.
So
Okay.
so what I used to do is I used to I used to solve all the compiler questions
Okay.
during my revision time. So in the
Hmm.
first revision, I almost covered 80% of the compiler, and remaining 20% I just left it. Like जो मुझे
Okay.
correct like उतना important नहीं लगा, I just left it straight away. So what I used to do is हर एक question में you'll have something a point where you'll go wrong. So I used to take that point and I used to write it in my compact material, the one
Okay.
where you have provisions and all. So in such a way that मैं next time से मैं वो question नहीं करने वाला हूँ. I just used to remember what mistakes I made. And what people mostly do is they practice a lot on paper.
Hmm.
which I feel when you're having less time, you shouldn't do it. So what I did was, my Kali, like I just used to take a rough paper calculator and I used to do DT, IDT maybe, and I never wrote down things because मेरा already I used to write test series, so उधर practice हो
Hmm.
जाता था. So the main part is whatever the key contents, whatever the key takeaways you get from each of the compiler question, write it down in your book. उसके वजह से
Okay.
आपका रिवीजन का टाइम कम हो जाएगा. You will remember the content very well,
Hmm.
and the thing is, आपका it's such that 1.5 day में you will be covering all the compiler questions also in that manner. So you need not fear what you're missing out. This
Yeah,
was the same
actually,
strategy I
yes.
did for DT and ID.
Agree, agree. And I also mentioned that I also took classes from BB sir and Vishal Bhattad sir during my preparation time.
Yeah,
So, and I think the both teacher are the heroes of DT and IDT. BB sir का कमाल नहीं है,
exactly.
मतलब
Yeah,
DT he is the one, मतलब I think कोई सी स्टूडेंट बचा होगा जो उनसे अपना नहीं पढ़ा हो, या तो उनके YouTube वीडियो देखते हैं या फिर उनसे पढ़ते हैं. Same with Vishal sir. Either watch YouTube videos or took classes from Vishal sir. And seriously,
exactly.
the depth of knowledge the both teachers provide you is awesome, मतलब next level. So yeah, next thing is, did you maintain or did you prepare the 1.5 day revision strategy in advance, or how did you gone through this 1.5
Yes.
day before exam? A bit, yeah.
Uh, Throughout my 4.5 to 5 months of study leave,
Hmm.
throughout my study leave, my major focus was 1.5 days. Literally, it was my daily target to refine the content in such a manner that I get to
Hmm.
1.5 days. So
Okay.
all these four revisions which I've done, everything I used to do it from the point of view of 1.5 days only. So it's like very crucial for subjects like audit, where you require multiple revisions to cover it in 1.5 days. And even
Hmm.
coming with DT also, we were lucky enough to get 2.5 days due to Diwali.
Yeah.
But I guess for others it's very difficult to cover it in 1.5 days. So planning the 1.5 days thing is like very crucial. Like that was my first target. Rather than even getting knowledge about the subject, I focused
Hmm.
a lot on 1.5 days thing.
Okay. Uh, I think yeah, 1.5 day if you prepare well in advance, then आपका जो एग्जाम का प्रेशर है ना थोड़ा आप पे कम हो जाता है. If you prepared well in advance for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
And like
hmm,
chapters go also. पूरा 100% syllabus का coverage is like impossible. We need to drop some content in order to earn 5 marks.
yes, yes, I agree. I think it's very important for to prepare a 1.5 day revision strategy, because what students do now, what I saw, they plan everything in their mind. कि 1 day before exam, I'll cover this chapter, this chapter, this chapter, but there is no written plan. Because I personally talked with many CA students जो कि final exam दे रहे हैं या इंटर
Exactly.
लेवल पे हैं. They told me the same thing. I asked him, did you prepare a 1.5 day revision strategy? They were like, no, वो हमारे दिमाग में है. So everything you should not keep in mind. If you there is one code, write it down and make it happen. So I think this applies here also. आपको कुछ भी result चाहिए, then you have to write
Exactly.
it down and make it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll reiterate this, that it's very important to make a 1.5 day revision strategy, and it helps a lot. And it gives boost your confidence also. So yeah, now coming to the next very common myth or notion, that we need to study at least 18 hours to get a rank. Well, the 18 hours, 16 hours, it depends on person to person, but it's a myth that to secure a rank, you need to study a lot.
So
What was your point? What's your point on this?
yeah. So I'll just I'll just tell regarding what my position during my 5 years preparation, during my 5 months preparation leave.
Hmm.
I just 5 months. I did. I had 5 subjects remaining, which I have zero clarity. I मैंने classes लिया था लेकिन वो expire भी हो गए थे. My mother told me to give only a single group, but
Hmm.
I was like so scared. But still I somehow managed कि no, I need to write 2 groups. So that was the phase where I was in, which I don't think many people would be. Like
Yeah.
usual people would be pre-planned.
Yeah.
So given the fact I had so many things to cover, preparation leave, I gave a dedicated 14-15 hours.
14, 15 hours.
That was
Okay.
like a mandatory thing for me. I used to
Okay.
sit for 14 to 15 hours, and
Hmm.
du- yeah, and during the examination time, I used to sit for 18 hours.
Okay, so means you are from that one category जो 18 hours तक टच किया है जिसने अभी because you have मतलब you are saying that आपका planning थोड़ा पहले से नहीं
Yeah,
था
yeah,
इसीलिए आपको करना पड़ा ये बट
exactly,
मतलब आई थिंक
exactly,
इट्स
exactly.
या इट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर प्रिपरेशन ऑल्सो राइट आपका पहले कितना कंफर्ट है उस पर भी डिपेंड करता है बट effectively on an average if you are able to give a effective 10 to 12 hours of study and I think it's sufficient to clear exams also and this thing is aligned
Exactly.
with many rank holders, and there are some rank holders who study even less than 10 hours. Still, they get a rank. But it's not about the number of hours you study, it's
Yeah.
about how you study and how much you are able to retain during that period. मतलब आप सिर्फ पता ना हम बुक लेके बैठना एक बुक को ढंग से पढ़ना दोनों में डिफरेंस है so you need to keep this thing in mind that number of hours doesn't
Exactly.
define your success. So keep this thing in your mind. Yeah, and one an important question is regarding the ICI study material. Did you follow that study material, or did you suggest a person to follow study material, or what's the
So
point on
yeah,
this?
coming to that, yeah, so that's actually a very confusing point for many students. I'll
Hmm.
tell you regarding what I did. I followed the IC material, I guess, for only SEMP, Strategic Cost
Okay.
Management and Performance Evaluation. We
Okay.
so I followed the material only for that subject and FR. And for
Okay.
remaining other subjects, I didn't refer the IC material at all. And just coming to the part of audit,
Hmm.
I just gave a glance. For
Hmm.
audit, I just used to refer it for any MCQ point. That's it.
Okay. Got it. So as I think we have already discussed this part that you have already written mock test exams. So how many mock test papers have you done for all subjects?
Yeah, yeah. So for all the subjects, I just followed the same pattern. Each subject ka 5 parts mein there will be a test of CA test series.
Hmm.
So that 5 part test I wrote in my second revision, and in my third revision I wrote one full test covering the whole syllabus. So on the whole, for each
Okay.
subject I gave around six tests, and which included one full syllabus test. That's it.
Okay, मतलब for each subject you have given one at least one full test paper. And did you sell the RTPs and MTPs
Yeah,
also
yeah,
I think we have covered all the questions which CA students might have.
regarding the preparation, मतलब what rankers do generally to get a rank and to clear? So, uh, yeah. So, what is the last tip you want to give to the CA students who are appearing in this upcoming May 24 attempt?
yeah. So for them, you don't have the burden of law and SCMP to write it. So
Hmm.
there are six subjects to target. I
Hmm.
suggest that everybody should give 5 revisions for audit as well as DT, give taking into consideration how bulky the subject is.
हाँ.
And I'll just tell one thing: you need not over focus on the number of hours you study. You need not be more concerned as to where you are going. Just have this goal fixed in your mind. Your whole thing is to plan those 1.5 days perfectly. So
Yeah.
just be there, get it done. And since this is the first time you guys are giving like the new syllabus, I don't think there would be a lot of surprises in the paper as it was there in our attempt. So
Hmm.
you need not worry much, but just stay focused and be prepared for those 5 subjects mainly. And I guess that's it. Just be dedicated and just get the things done what you have planned, and focus a lot on those 1.5 days. And I
Yes.
suggest everyone to at least take out 30 minutes or 1 hour every day and just spend some time, maybe on social media, etc. Because even during the day of exam, I used to use Instagram for 30 minutes, 1 hour for sure. And I used to watch a episode of Shinchan. So that
Oh,
was a mandatory thing for me. So
yeah.
I'll just tell them to follow that thing, because all the social media detox thing, I don't think those things really work. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thanks for sharing the tips. I also agree, मतलब social media, what people used to do, they just keep switched off their phones and uninstall all social media apps. Use it, but अपना limit पता होना चाहिए हर किसी को that
Exactly.
yeah, this is my limit and beyond this I'm not going to do this. So yeah, and all the best for the upcoming CA May 24 attempt. And I'll keep posting these rankers interviews so that you can get an idea how these guys prepared and secured a rank. Till then, stay connected. And if you are new to this channel, do subscribe it and share this with your friends. Bye bye. Thank you.